What up, sports fans? Waxon Wednesday, Jake Waxman, Tom Lava, let two guys talk sports. Let's do this. All right, got a lot to get to, so I'm gonna start with this. Been thinking a lot about the Chicago Bears. Okay, they're not doing well this year. But they are doing poorly enough that they're gonna have 2 first-round picks this season. And I've been kind of back and forth on who should they take? As of right now, the Panthers would have the number 1 pick, but because they traded that number 1 pick to Chicago last year in that trade to get Bryce Young, the Bears officially hold the number 1 pick. Not the Panthers, who have the worst record, but the Bears, because that pick is the Bears by the trade. So, I've been thinking a lot of things through, and, I've been kind of back and forth. Okay, do the Bears take a quarterback? Do they trust in Justin Fields? Here's what I think. I've been watching a lot of college football this season. I don't know who they should use like their second number 1 pick on, or what they should do with that. But when it comes to their first round pick, whether it's a number 1 pick or not, there's a guy that comes to my mind, and I think this is a guy they cannot miss out on, or shouldn't. Like I actually will be really ticked if they don't get this guy, or if they have the opportunity, of course. And I just think they should. The Chicago Bears. I'm just gonna get to it right now. The Chicago Bears. With their if they get the number 1 overall pick, no question, they should draft Marvin Harrison Jr. No question. That guy he is the best player in this. He will be the best player in this year's draft, presuming he goes, of course. Then they shouldn't draft him if he stays another year at Ohio State. But Marvin Harrison Jr., of course, looks like he's preparing to go to the NFL draft. But the Bears, you get that number 1 pick, or if you don't get the number 1 pick and he falls in your lap, take him. He's talented. That guy has generational type talent written all over him. Now, I understand this. You don't want to take usually you don't want to take a wide receiver with the number 1 overall pick, or with maybe a top 5 pick. But looking at Marvin Harrison Jr.'s skill set, he justifies taking him with the number 1 taking him with the number 1 overall pick is justified because of the skill set, the talent, the athleticism, the explosiveness that Marvin Harrison Jr. has. He's got it all. And, there's plenty of need. Plus, there's plenty of needs for the Bears. Okay, you're not going to fill them all in this draft. I think the Bears still have a long ways to go, which is another reason why I think take this guy. Take the best guy available. And the Bears do need another wide receiver. Because who knows if, Darnell Mooney's going to be back next season. Bears may not re-sign him. So there you go. You'd have the replacement for Mooney, which is Marvin Harrison Jr., who has probably a high ceiling by NFL standards. And I look at his game, it's a game that's going to transfer to cross over to the NFL. He will do well wherever he goes. Marvin Harrison Jr. I just hope my Bears take him with that number 1 overall pick, because he's the best. He's going to be the best player available, no question. I know a lot of you Bears fans are thinking they should get a quarterback and part ways with Justin Fields. Here's my thought. Okay, first of all, I'm for giving Justin Fields one more chance. One more chance. If he doesn't do well next season, then you move on from him. But let's wait on the quarterbacks. Or if you're going to get a quarterback, wait until the later rounds. I'm not sure how I feel about Caleb Williams. I've got a bad feeling his game's not going to transfer to the NFL level. And if you're going to go quarterback, go Drake May, then. I actually would rather have Drake May. Between those two, I'd rather have Drake May than Caleb Williams. Both are talented, but I got a feeling that May's play style will transfer over to the NFL better than Caleb Williams. And just that's a but. Still, we could also wait. The Bears could also wait and trade down in the draft. With their second pick, they could trade down, draft a D-line or O-line. And then later on the draft, you could get a quarterback. Someone like a Bo Nix, for example, or even Michael Penix Jr. I actually, in terms of quarterbacks, if we're going to move on from Justin Fields, let's not move on from him yet. But if we're going to draft a quarterback, let's draft somebody who doesn't have expectations, who doesn't have the hype, Somebody who could fly under the radar, like a Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. That's what I would rather the Bears do. And shoot, I'd rather them go get a veteran like Jimmy Garoppolo, or let's say if the Cardinals decide to move on from Kyler Murray, go get him in free agency. So the thing is, if the Bears draft a quarterback, I don't have the confidence to believe that they're going to get it right. Not because the quarterbacks aren't good, but because the Bears cannot develop a quarterback to save their lives. So my point here is this. I've looked at it. I think I know for sure now what I want the Bears to do. I really want them to go get Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's the best player, and he could help Justin Fields out a lot if they keep him, or whoever the quarterback is going to be for the Bears. He can help a lot. I know plenty of needs for the Bears. Yes, I know. But we're not going to fix them all. In fact, in this draft, hit the home run. Go for the best player available, all right? That's what you got plenty of needs. You're not going to fill them all. So start by going with the best player possible. And in my mind, that's Marvin Harrison Jr. I've watched his game. He's a wide receiver like no other. And hey, he is the son of Marvin Harrison. And almost apple does not fall far from the tree. In fact, his ceiling may be higher than his dad's. So that's my thoughts on the Chicago Bears and how things stack with the draft and what they should do with whatever picks they get. All right. Now we'll move on from the Bears to the Blackhawks. All right. I just got to say, I am impressed with Connor Bedard. Yes, you all know that. Okay, you know, you're like, big deal, Waxon. But here's the thing. I kind of thought this would be a slow season for Bedard. I thought the start would be slower, but recently he's been catching fire. So far, 13 games this season, and Connor Bedard has 9 goals total. And in the last 2 games, he's scored 4 times. I think Connor Bedard he is progressing faster than I thought he was going to. I was worried that I was thinking, okay, it's going to take Bedard a little time to get going. And then at some point he'll hit his stride. He is already getting comfortable. And that's bad news in my mind, call me biased, but that's bad news for the rest of the NHL because this kid's skill set is unreal. Now, there's still plenty of things to work on, like for him, like defense and faceoffs, which has been horrific for him, no doubt. But hey, I'll go easy on him for that. Let's go easy. He's a rookie. You don't learn that stuff in your first year, or like you don't learn that stuff all that fast in your first year. But you know what? That skill set and that promise, that talent it's on display right now. Bedard is red hot. He is playing great hockey. And because of that, the Blackhawks, okay, so they're not the best team, but they're a better team this season already because Bedard is taking off faster than even I expected. Like, he is making a difference out there, and he's putting his heart out on the ice, and he's getting rewarded for it in ways. So as of right now, Bedard, my expectation for Connor Bedard was I thought it would take him some time to get used to the NHL level of speed, you know, all that stuff. But with the way he's been performing as of late, Connor Bedard is starting to settle in. I think he's figuring out the speed of the NHL. I think he's starting to gel with the rest of the team, chemistry. He is starting to find his groove and his rhythm, and it is looking beautiful. Like, watching him play is all the fun in the world. It was already fun before, but right now he's killing it right now. Barring any injuries, he will be one of the favorites for the Calder Trophy, which goes to the best rookie or the rookie of the year. So like I said, as long as he doesn't get hurt, he's in contention for that trophy. And as long as he continues what he's doing right now, because he is performing at a high level, and the Blackhawks are much, much more competitive this year because Bedard continues to take strides and faster than guys like myself predicted. How many goals will he have on the year? We'll find out. But he's on pace to score probably over 20, maybe even over 25. We'll see. I hope he keeps it up because right now Bedard, I feel spoiled, okay? We Chicago fans are so spoiled. I mean, the Blackhawks may not be the best team, but Connor Bedard, man, he is every bit as good as advertised right now. And at the moment, he is performing at a very high level. And that is because he is settling into the speed of the NHL. So, that's just my thoughts there on Connor Bedard and how he's progressing. So far, much faster than I thought he would be this season. All right. Now I'm going to focus on my Boilermakers, the basketball side of things. All right, so Purdue's off to a good start, 3-0. They beat Xavier on Monday night in a very, very good contest. Zach Edey, not the best game that night, but he still performed pretty well, and he'll get in his rhythm very soon. Just needs to get more basketball. I like what I've seen from some of the freshmen like Camden Heide and Miles Colvin. Also, Braden Smith seems to have taken steps forward. But now, with respect to them, when I say Boilermakers, I'm not here to talk about our current Boilermakers. Those guys are doing well. I will say that. But I'm here to talk about the future Boilermakers. The Purdue basketball class of 2024. My God, it is a big class. I didn't even think this was possible, but get this. Purdue's 2024 class. 6 guys. I'm not kidding. I thought the most you could get was 4. No, Matt Painter will have 6 freshmen incoming next year. 6. That's numbers that I've never even heard of. Matt Painter's never had a class this big, and most coaches usually don't get a class that big. Maybe 5 at most, but 6? Holy crap. And these are good players that Purdue's got. So, just to give you an idea. So, Purdue's going to lose 4 players next season, Zach Edey being one of them, like to graduation, NBA draft, maybe even some more to the portal. We know there's at least 4 seniors on this Purdue team, and we got 6 guys incoming. So it could be that either 2 redshirt or we may have someone transfer, which would be unfortunate, but that's part of how this game works. We'll see down the road. But let me list all the guys for you. So just today, Jakari Harris committed to Purdue. He is a combo guard. And by the way, for those of you who do not know, he's the son of Glenn Big Dog Robinson, the Purdue legend, one of the greatest Purdue Boilermakers in history, and a guy who did some things in the NBA as well. So Jakari Harris, the son of Big Dog Robinson, he's a combo guard, even a small guard. We just know he's a guard. You've also got C.J. Cox, another guard. In addition to those guys, you also have Riley Burgess, who can play forward. Jack Benner, who's a forward. And then Purdue, of course, has another big man coming in, a guy by the name of Daniel Jacobson at 7'3", okay, so he's got some of the abilities that Edey has, but I've also heard he can shoot outside the perimeter. So maybe not as tall as Edey is, but he's still a very big man. Of course, the big name to keep in mind besides Jakari Harris, the big name in this class to remember, Cannon Catchings. He's a power forward out of Brownsburg and a 5-star in some people's ratings. That's Purdue's probably Purdue's 3rd highest recruit in the history of the Purdue Boilermakers. And this is a kid that may be a one and done for Purdue. He's got a lot of athletic ability, very talented, could go to the NBA right away. Got a great shot, lots to like about his game. So those names that I just mentioned, those are Purdue's 6 incoming freshmen for next year. Whew, that's a big class. I didn't even think we had like the scholarship room for Jakari Harris, but Painter and company clearly have a plan. And the nice thing about this class is, or maybe at least what I'm hoping for, some of those guys have athleticism, or at least most of those guys, they're more athletic than the players that Painter has recruited in the past, which will help Purdue a lot. Speed as well. This should help Purdue with those 16 seeds or double-digit seeds. Yeah, I still haven't forgotten about FDU. We still need, and part of the reason we lost to FDU was we didn't have enough athleticism or speed or guys who can create their own shot. With this class, more athleticism, more speed, and guys who can create shots. We'll see if that translates, of course, to the college level. But there's a lot of potential in this class, and a lot of explosiveness, and I cannot wait to see what these guys have to offer when they arrive next season. Whew! We'll see how Purdue does in the tournament this year, but these 6 guys that are coming in, they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. I can't wait. All right. So that's my subjects for today. Also, before I go any further, folks, I want to update you guys on something. This is just a side note. So, y'all remember, for those of you who do remember, there was a hockey player by the name of Adam Johnson who unfortunately passed away after taking a skate to the neck. So, now, I have an update on this whole story. There is an update, and I'm not going to get into it with my own opinions. I'm just going to tell you what I know. What I do know is that the player involved, Matt Petgraves, he has been arrested by UK police and under the suspicion or charge of manslaughter. That is what I am hearing for the time being. But I just wanted to give you guys that update on this very sad story. I thought you all should know about this because this is a huge story. And my advice to you is be careful what the media is telling you because it very likely is not the truth. I'm just going to wait until more details unfold. But this is for sure what I know, and this part of it is true. All right. On to this day in sports history. And on this day, the 15th of November, 1992. Here's one for you, Tyler Lavalette, and for you NASCAR fans. In the 42nd season finale of the NASCAR Cup Series, Alan Kulwicki pulls an all-time upset and wins the Winston Cup Series in 1992. It was a great battle between him, Bill Elliott, and Davey Allison all season. It looked like Davey Allison was going to win that cup, but then he had a crash at Atlanta in the final race that took him out of the points championship and paving the way for Alan Kulwicki to win his first and only cup championship and pull an all-time upset. All right, sports fans, that is all I got for this week's Waxon Wednesday. Remember, if you got a question for me, leave it below, and I will try to answer it in my Waxon Wednesday next week. All right, sports fans, thanks for watching this week's Waxon Wednesday. Hope you have a good weekend. Jake Waxman from Two Guys Talk Sports, signing off.